What's going on, guys? Another video for Shreddy Bois Gaming. Today I am going to be opening up my festival in a box that I bought at MagicCon Las Vegas. So yeah, let's get right to it, huh? Shreddy Bois Gaming. What's going on, guys? If you watched the intro to this video, you know I just came back from MagicCon Vegas, and this is my festival in a box. I've never opened mystery booster. I've opened packs before, but never you know, a full box. So if you don't know what this is, you know, they usually release this at MagicCon, and you know, they got like a little promo exclusive to each MagicCon. So I'm gonna rip through these packs, and actually let me grab this garbage can over here because I'm definitely gonna need that. Yeah, so I'm gonna rip through these packs. I'm gonna try not to spend an incredible amount of time, because the last time I opened a box, which was yesterday, I spent like an hour and 52 minutes. So we're gonna be speeding through a lot of it. I'm going to talk to you about my experience at MagicCon and my adventures. So there we go. The seal. Alright. Very cool. Let's see what we got here. Alright, so you open it. Okay, that's really cool. It's the artwork from the Strixhaven set. Alright, this must be the promo pack. Pretty cool. Oh, never mind. This is the promo pack. Or the secret lair specific to Las Vegas. I'm going to throw that right there. And there she is, the mystery booster box in all of her glory. So I'm going to put this aside. We're going to do the promos first. Alrighty. So I guess we could start with this. So that's very cool, actually. Very sweet. Alright, here's what I'm guessing is these are the 3 promos that come with the box here. It's got it's got one of these stupid test cards. I'm gonna open it off mic. Alright, so we got In Residence. This one says, when enchantment enters, search your library for a legendary creature with mana value extra less, exile, and then shuffle. At the beginning of your first main phase, you may introduce the exile card using an introduction. You haven't used this game. If you do, put that card on the battlefield. It gains haste. Exile that creature at the beginning of its next end step. That's, you know, that's funny. That's fun. Alright, this is one of the promos that they were offering. Consecrated Sphinx. Very cool. Whenever an opponent draws a card, you draw 2 cards. And then there's your counter spell with the retro border. Really cool. Jesus Christ. Yeah, and the text just says it was probably a lousy spell in the first place. Very nice. Alright, cool. Yeah, that was awesome. Alright, I'm going to put this aside here. Right here. Alright. Here it is. This was the secret lair, Viva Los Rakdos, specific to MagicCon here in Vegas. So, guys, yeah, I went to... So, you know, it started when they announced MagicCon and I wasn't going to be coming to Chicago. I was very, very upset because I remember, you know, I had an incredible amount of fun in, you know, Vegas. Or sorry, not Vegas, MagicCon Chicago. And I was very upset. I'm like, Jesus, like, what happened? And basically, I learned that there was, like, some disputes with the McCormick Center, you know. They did not handle the situation perfectly, so to speak. So, it didn't happen. I think it was licensing agreements or whatever. But, yeah, you know, I wasn't going to go, basically. I wasn't going to go to MagicCon, and I was upset about it. But, you know, I think it was partly my wife talking me into it. But it became more of a reality, and before you know it, I was planning my trip and saving a lot of money. But yeah. So here it is, Talisman of Indulgence. pretty cool with that artwork. Dark Petition. Pretty good card in the correct deck. See if the art works. You could really, you know, I'll just place it there and then I'll zoom in later. Dark Petition, you know, you search your card for a library, put that in your hand and then shuffle. There are 2 or more instants and sorceries in your graveyard. Add 3 black. Good tutor. Lightning Greaves. Classic. Beseech the Mirror. It says bargain. Search your library for a card, exile it face down, and then shuffle. If this spell was bargained, you may cast the exile spell without paying its mana cost. If that spell's mana cost is 4 or less, put the exile card in your hand if it wasn't. Pretty good. And then you got Light Up the Stage. Spectacle 1. Exile 2 cards from the top of your library until the end of your turn. You may play those cards. It's pretty good in the Spell Slinger's deck. And then finally, you got Fiend Hunter. And I don't remember this being, I guess this was the bonus card. Fiend Hunter, it says when this creature enters, you may exile another target creature. When this leaves the battlefield, return exile creature to the battlefield under its owner's control. Okay. I think more than anything, the artwork just looks really nice. Especially with that retro border. Pretty sweet. Not gonna lie. Just gonna adjust the camera right quick. Alright. Cool. Yeah, that was the secret lair. Yeah, so, you know, day 1 of MagicCon, I get there. I'm kind of like afraid, you know, I went alone this year, so didn't really have any buddies. It very much forced me to get out of my shell and, like, talk to people, you know. I'm not really an introvert. I find myself, I'm, like, kind of in the middle, you know. Like, sometimes I want to hang out and I want to talk, and then sometimes I don't. And this kind of forced me to be the latter, essentially. So I was just talking to a lot of people, met a lot of really cool people, and that day 1, this was the first thing I did, was I went to MagicCon, got online, immediately went to the MagicCon merch store, where they had all the sealed product, and I was so afraid that they were going to sell out. I waited in that line for like 3.5 hours, something like that, and every time just wondering if I'm even going to make it, essentially. So, here I am. I got it. Mystery Booster 2. Oh, here we go. I'm excited. Alright, I'm going to put this off camera. There we are. There we go. Let's do it. Let's crack some packs. You know, again, I'm going to rip through some of these. You know, some of the more commons. Swift Justice. That's okay. We got... What was that? Deft Blade Elite. It's got Provoke, and then you can pay 1 on white, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt by Deft Blade this turn. Silver Mirror. Classic. Psychic Corrosion. Whenever you draw a card, each opponent puts the top 2 cards of their library into the graveyard. That is pretty good for a mill deck. And I think we're hitting the uncommons finally. Virtue's Ruin, destroy all white creatures. I think this is one that was not printed before. Kind of like, you know, how some cards are just like online. Very cool. Diregraph Ghoul. Enters the battlefield tapped. Okay. Blood Knight. Has first strike and protection from white. Man, the artwork on these is like... some of these retro borders are just awesome. Twin Infernal. When you cast your next instant or sorcery, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. Pretty standard spell slinging. Karstad, I can't pronounce that. When it comes into play, it comes in with 5 1/1 counters. When an artifact comes into play, remove a 1/1 counter from this creature. Teamer Sabertooth. Okay. You may return another creature you control to its owner's hand. 1 in a green. If you do, this gains indestructible. Okay. Conclave. Mentor. If 1 or more 1/1 counters would be put on a creature you control, that many +1 are put there instead. When this dies, you gain life equal to its power. Pretty good. Oh, okay. Muxus. Goblin Grandee? Jesus. Okay, when this enters the battlefield, reveal top 5 cards of your library. Put all goblin creatures with converted mana cost value 5 or less from among them onto your battlefield and put the rest under your library. Jesus, that is nuts. Alright, I'm going to actually start putting these in piles. We have a snow-covered island. God, that is gorgeous. Jesus Christ. I love the snow-covered lands. Collected company. Look at the top 6 cards of your library. Put 2 creature cards with mana value 3 or less among them onto the battlefield. Put the rest in the bottom in any order. And this is the first example of the retro border that we got going on here. And we got some hits that have the retro border, so that we're going to be on the lookout for those. And then here is one of those test print cards. They're okay. They're cool in theory, I guess. Whatever. I personally do not care at all about the test cards. So yeah, I don't know. I was I was talking to a lot of people, and I was waiting in line for this box. Very afraid that it just wasn't gonna happen, And I was just talking to these guys, and before you know it, the panel started for like Lord of the Rings and Marvel and all that, and I was like very upset that I had to miss that. But I was watching it on my phone through YouTube, which is kind of silly if you really think about it. There you go. Deep Channel Mentor. Yeah, so I was just waiting the whole time for this box, and I finally got it. If you guys don't know, these boxes alone go for like $300, $350. It's pretty ridiculous. So, go blank. Not bad. Not a bad card at all. Changeling Berserker. Pretty good. Pretty good. If you know, you know. Irish Shaman. I've never seen this one. It's got Menace and Megamorph. And then when this is turned face up, exile top card of your library until end of turn. You may play that card. Oh, that's pretty good. Enlarge. Target creature gets +7/+7 and gains trample until end of turn. It must be blocked this turn if possible. Wow. Okay. Drum Hunter. At the end of your turn, if you control a creature with 5 or greater, you may draw a card. Alright. Ooh, nice. Okay, I just... Oh, okay. I skipped ahead. Sorry. Hearthstone. Activated abilities of creatures cost 1 less to activate. This can't reduce the amount of mana of an ability. Basically, past 1. That's pretty good. This one, I love him. He's a good man. Gideon, ally of Zendikar. He does ally shenanigans, basically. I run him in my Sokka deck. Unholy Heat. This deals 2 damage to a target creature or planeswalker. And Delirium deals 6 damage instead if there are 4 or more. Yeah, that's whatever. But this is what I was freaking out about here. Look at that. City of Brass. This is one of the chase cards. It's got the retro border. It says, when City of Brass becomes tapped, it deals 1 damage to you. This is a very good land. And, I should have said this at the beginning, but I am just going to put the prices of cards that are like $3 or more. I know City of Brass definitely is more than that. So, that's going to be exciting. I'm putting that to the side. Holy crap. Let's keep going. Let's keep testing our luck here. Alright. Aslead Life's Bounty. Aslead of Life's Bounty. Lifelink, you can sacrifice this target creature or enchantment you control gains protection from the color of your choice. Pretty good. Until end of turn. Alright. Perimeter Captain. Defender. Creatures you control with Defender may gain 2 life. Oh, okay. Frost Trickster. I know this man. Very good. Not bad. Not bad. Good in a blink deck. Whirler Rogue. Again, great in a blink deck. When it enters, you create Thopters. And you can tap 2 untapped artifacts and target creature can't be blocked. Pretty good. Injector Crocodile. Okay, so these don't have any rhyme or reason. They're all commons or uncommons, but like random. When this dies, it can beat 3, and then it's got swamp cycling. Okay. Bone shards. Not bad. But yeah, I was very excited that, you know, I get to do this. I was able to go. It was scary at first, but very quickly, I got over it. You know, I was talking to a lot of people. And, yeah, 3 hours came and went. I grabbed my stuff. That's what they say with day 1 of MagicCon, is it's best to just, you know, get everything out of the way day 1. Like, buy all your stuff. Day 1 is merch, you know. You buy all your stuff, and that way you're not lugging a bunch of stuff by day 2. So, you got an uncommon here. Veteran Explorer. Another thing with these boxes is you get a lot of treatments that maybe you've never seen before. Like, I love these white borders. I was not a Magic player when all this was common, you know. So, very cool. Very cool. When this dies, each player may search your library for up to 2 basic land cards, put them on the battlefield, and then shuffle. Pretty good. Back to basics. Non-basic lands do not untap during their controller's untap steps. Jesus Christ. Great card. Great card for control decks. Then we got one of these test print cards. Mad Lands. That's funny. It's funny in that you look at it and it is what it is, you know. That day 1, it was kind of intimidating. I was like running around trying to do everything that I wanted to do. And I was getting signatures. I was like, you know, I was walking by looking for merch, and then out of nowhere, I saw, if you know, you know, I saw the professor. And I had to stop and talk to him. I'm like, oh my God, what are you doing here? You know, I looked at the schedule, and there was nothing that said that the professor was going to be there, you know. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's the professor from Tulare Community College, which, you know, if you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. But yeah, I saw that there was a line forming, essentially, and I was like, "What is this line? Like, is this for him?" And everyone's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "You joking, right?" Like he, you know, I'm like, he's not supposed to be here. But yeah, sure enough, you know, I got in that line and I was able to meet him. I never thought I would meet him. I wasn't gonna wait because they had like a wristband type system, you know. Ooh, this is pretty good. Corrupt. Corrupt deals 1 damage to target creature or player for each swamp you control. And then, yeah, when this deals damage to a creature or player, gain life equal to that damage. Pretty good. But, yeah, you know, I got in that line, got to meet him. I was a little nervous, so I don't think I left the greatest impression, you know, but, you know, it is what it is. I got him to sign a couple things, which was pretty cool. And, yeah. Alright, cool. We got an Is It Boil Works. I don't know if... It's okay. It's an okay land. Here we go. First rare. Goblin Chain Whirler. It's got first strike. And then it enters the battlefield. It deals 1 damage to each opponent and each creature and planeswalker they control. Goblin Shenanigans. I never got into the goblin side of things. Alright, here we go. Dead Ringers. Common. Destroy 2 target non-black creatures unless either is one color that the other isn't. They can't be regenerated. Okay. That's kind of whatever. Here we go. One with the retro border. Tender Wall. It's got Defender, and you can sacrifice this to add 2 red. And, yeah. You can sacrifice this to... It says it deals 2 damage to target creature that's blocking. That's whatever. But it's got that border, baby. We want those borders. But, yeah, so, I don't know. I got to meet the professor. I was going to, like, a lot of different artists and just having them sign things, you know. I had brought a lot of cards that I was, that I was into. And the day before, the day before I went to MagicCon, I just went and looked at the MagicCon website and looked at all the artists that were going to be there. And, yeah, I took cards accordingly, and I got some cards signed. Sorry, some of these packs are hard to open. I'm going to be using my teeth. So that day one was pretty much all that. Anything that I wanted to see, you know, it was very random, you know. Alright, cool. That's not bad. Halimar Depths, it says when it enters tapped. And you gotta look at the top 3 cards of your library, put them back in any order, and then you add blue. Not bad. Some of these I will talk because I've never seen them before. Shadow Prophecy. Pretty decent. Deadweight. Oh, okay. This is a good one. Unexpected Windfall. As an additional cost to this cost. As an additional cost to cast a spell, discard a card. Draw 2 cards, make 2 treasures. Pretty good. Pretty simple. Gedusing Slinger. Pollenbright Druid. It's okay. Quarian Elves. God, that retro art is like awesome. Nomad Outpost. Here we go. Another land. It enters tapped. And you can add one of Mardu colors. Prosper Tomebound. At the beginning of each end step, exile top card of your library. Until the end of your turn, you may play that card. Whenever you play a card from exile, create a treasure token. Not bad. Not bad. And that's a mythic. You got rare right here. Hollow One. This spell costs 2 less for each card that you've cycled or discarded this turn. It's a 5 cost for a 4/4. That's okay. Alright, really it's the artwork. Jesus Christ, I love it. Here we go, our first card with this border here. Creatures entering the battlefield do not cause abilities to trigger. Wow, so no ETBs or anything like that. That's pretty good. Or things that say, when this creature enters, blah blah blah. Pretty good. I like it. And then we got one of these crappy crappy cards. So yeah, that was pretty much day one, you know. Game nights was day one. Just walking around, you just walk around, and I follow a lot of like Magic people on YouTube and all that. So it was just a lot of like, hey, I know that guy. Oh, I know that guy too. You know, oh my God, it's that guy. And I was just going around, just getting signatures and stuff. It was kind of weird, you know. You see like a lot of these people on YouTube, and now you're seeing them in real life, and try not to be a weirdo. Bravo of the Steel Legion. As long as it's your turn, creature tokens get +1/+4. Jesus. And then you could do 3 and a white, create a soldier token. Nice. And then you can partner it. This would be really good in my Lord of the Rings deck. Okay, this is a good card. I do have him already in the deck. Vigilance. Creatures can't attack you or planeswalker you control unless they pay 1 for... Yeah, nobody likes these types of cards. Very good. Confound. Counter target spell that targets 1 or more creatures. Draw a card. Curiosity. Pretty good. Pretty good. Gloom Sour. Incremental Blight. That art is gorgeous. Jesus Christ. Put a -1/1 counter on target creature. Put 2 -1/1 counters on a target creature. And then put 3 -1/1 counters on a third target creature. That's good. Lightning Mauler. Soulbound. As long as this is paired with another creature, both creatures have haste. Seal of Fire. Pretty good. Pretty classic. God, I love these retro styles here. Retro, Sky, yeah, pretty good. Sky Shroud Elite. Stinging Shot. Classic. Alright, here we go. Opulent Palace. Another land. It taps for black, green, or blue. I'm going to put that in the land pile. Alright, the first rare. We got Wake Thrasher. When a permanent you control becomes untapped, Wake Thrasher gets +1/+1 until the end of turn. That could be pretty good. And then Thornbite Staff. Uncommon. It has equipped 2. This creature deals 1 damage to any target. Tap. This creature does 1 damage to any target. Whenever a creature dies, untap this creature. Whenever a shaman enters the battlefield, you can attach this to it. That's okay. I like that. Rare, though. That's going right in the pile. Here we go. Gush. With this border. You may return 2 islands to 2 islands you control to their owner's hand rather than pay the spell's mana cost. Draw 2 cards. Not bad. Okay. Cool. Alright, I feel like I have been going pretty slow here, so I am going to speed it up. It's just, I'm like seeing a lot of these cards for the first time. Just trying to make sure, you know. Just trying to make sure I'm giving everybody its due diligence, you know. But yeah, you know, just walking around, I met Joel R. Magic. I met the dudes from Meaty Magic. I stood in line to meet the CBG crew. Pretty good, you know. Ooh. Pretty good card. But yeah, you know, just going around having people sign things, you know. Pretty good. And then of course, at the end of the night, watching game nights live. I actually, that's the one thing I do like about MagicCon is they do have like all these productions, which is pretty sweet, you know. Onslaught, Seething Anger, Dreampod Druid, Monstrous Growth. It's pretty good. Crystal Grotto. Pretty good. I'm going to put that in the lamp pile. Here we go. Pernicious Seed. This has Sacrifice Pernicious Seed. Return each artifact, creature, or enchantment with converted cost X or less. Alright, we're going to put that in its pile. Here we go. Ooh, Deathrite Shaman. This is a really good card. Exile target land from a graveyard. I get to add 1 mana of any color. You get to exile a target instant or sorcery from a graveyard. Each opponent loses 2 life. And exile target creature from a graveyard. You gain 2 life. Pretty good. Sanguine Brushstroke. When this enters the battlefield, create a blood token and conjure a card named Blood Artist onto the battlefield. And when you sacrifice a blood token, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. It's pretty good. I don't really do anything with blood tokens, but still. And then you got your little tester card. Some of these are pretty funny, but not for me. Alright. Yeah, you know, Game Night's Alive, if you've never seen that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then I can see it being kind of confusing or whatever. It's just another YouTube show that does Commander content, but they do like a spectacle. You know, they try to get everybody involved. Oh my god. Wow. This is like an expensive land, isn't it? Karo comes into play tapped. When this comes into play, return and untap the planes you control to its owner's hand. Or bury Karu. And then you can tap this to add 1 white and 1 colorless to your mana pool. Damn. I think this is an expensive card. I have to look. Or rather, you already know. We got another Barid, Steward of Argive. Okay. Web of Inertia. No. Yeah. Inertia. At the beginning of each opponent's combat phase, that player may remove a card from his or her graveyard. if the player doesn't, the creatures he or she controls can't attack you this turn. That's interesting. Woolbender, Spark Reaper. There we go. Fell Spectre. Pretty good. Fearless Scald. Classic. Here we go. Renup Ruins. Does a lot of things. You can add a colorless, pay 1 life to add a red, or you can pay 2 and 2 red, sacrifice desert. This deals 2 damage to each opponent. Let's go into the land pile. Here's Bane. Wow, pretty good. This is a confusing card. Yeah, there's a lot going on this card. Razor Fin Hunter. That retro art, man. Pretty good. Dryad Arbor. Tap for a green. Not bad. You got Seeker of Skybreak. Untap target creature. And you got one of these silly little cards. Alright, I'm going to sort these real quick. But yeah, you know, I had an absolute great time. After Command Zone Live, I ended up just playing some rounds, meeting some people, you know. And I did, day one, I did good. I brought out a Merfolk Precon deck. Some of you may know from the Caverns of Exelon. It's pretty good, you know, pretty good Precon. Not upgraded at all. But I brought that out. It went off very well. I kept apologizing because of the length of turns that I was taking and adding counters and blah, blah, blah. So that was whatever. But I was, you know, I was doing good. And then I won a second match. And that was all I did for day one. Sorry. I'm just trying to talk instead of reading every single card. But yeah, so that was awesome. You know, we did that. And then day two was better because, oh, alright, cool. Collation Relic. I'm gonna add 1 mana of any color to my mana pool, and then I can tap it charge counter on this, and at the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, remove all charge counters, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool for each charge character. Pretty good. This is what I was looking at. Reliquary Tower in that white border. Look at that. That is gorgeous. And here we go. And this nice artwork. Miri's Guile, I think. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may look at the top 3 cards in your library, put them back in any order. Pretty good card, if we're being honest. Maybe for like a miracle deck or something like that. That is really good. But yeah, so, I don't know. Day 2, that's basically what it was. I got there. I didn't have to deal with the shopping anymore. Although I did buy a couple things, you know. I didn't even talk about what I bought. So day 1, I did all my shopping. I bought the Festival in a Box. If you watched yesterday's little stream that I put up, I was, I'm going to open this for a second. If you watched yesterday's stream, I opened a box of Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. And yeah, I bought like deck boxes and stuff. You know, sleeves that I found was like really cool. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I bought like a giant, you know, a giant silly dice, which was, ooh, this is a good card. Shepherd of Rot, classic. Blight Beetle. Invigorated Rampage. Reckless Barbarian. Gaia's Embrace. Pretty cool. Last common, I think. Dread Linnorm. Oh no. Okay, here we go. Here's a common. Shuko. But yeah, so like, you know, I bought a bunch of stuff. I bought a precon. I bought one of the Bloom Barrow precons. I bought, again, the 2 boxes. I bought 2 secret layers, which, again, I did on the stream yesterday. If you want to see it, go over there. And yeah, it was good, man. I bought a lot of cool stuff. Here we go. First mythic. Balance. It's a sorcery. Each player chooses a number of lands he or she controls equal to the number of lands controlled by a player who has the fewest, then sacrifice the rest. Jesus Christ. Players discard cards and sacrifice creatures the same way. My god. That is just evil. That is an evil card. Faithless Looting. Classic. And then we have our first in this style. Temporal Manipulation. Take an extra turn after this one. Jesus. Go right into that, pal. But yeah, man. Day 2. You know, I had already bought most of my stuff. I did buy a couple things here and there, but mostly I was just getting signatures. That was what I wanted to do that day, you know. I was just going around, getting signatures. I got to meet a lot of people. Like I said, I was waiting in lines. And, you know, got a lot of signatures for my mat. And I went to different artists and got their signatures on cards. I got to meet the dude who, Josh Friedkes, who did, you know, the artwork. I'm going to post it right here. But he did the artwork on one of the latest secret layers, the Displacer Kitten artwork and whatnot. He's a really good artist. He's done a lot of art for like metal bands, which is pretty cool. Dreamtail Heroine. Ooh. Pretty good. Moonglove Changeling. Swarm of Rats. Classic. Embarrass Shieldbreaker. Goblin Slide. Incremental Growth. Bookworm. Ooh, this is pretty good. Reconstruct History. Turn 1 target artifact card. Oh, up to 1 target enchantment card, up to 1 target instant card, up to 1 target sorcery, up to 1 target planeswalker card from your graveyard to your hand, and then exile this. There we go. Tasha's Hideous Laughter. Each opponent exiles card from the top of their library until that player has exiled cards with total mana 20 or more. Jesus. Ooh, that's good. Iona. Shield of Omerta. Flying, and then this enters the battlefield. Choose a color. Your opponents can't cast spells of the chosen color. Jesus, that's good. And you got Energy Flux. All artifacts have, at the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice this artifact unless you pay 2. Another scary control card. But look at that art. It's gorgeous. You know, after I did everything, I just literally went to the hall and just started playing some games. And then I think that day I played like 4 games and I did not do well. I had a lot better luck on that first. There we go. Non-potential. Narcolepsy. Spin into Myth. Pretty good. Feign Death. Summon Undod. Good for milling. Strafe. Spite Bellows. Here we go. Rise of the Ants. Ooh. Finn the Fangbearer. Death Touch, and when a creature you control with Death Touch enters the deals combat damage, that player gets 2 poison counters. This is a good card. Crystal Vein. Pretty good. Another little card like this. Simeon Spirit Guide. And here's the first color, the first card in this treatment. Underworld Breach. Each non-land card in your graveyard has escape. The escape cost is equal to the card's mana cost plus exile 3 other cards from your graveyard. At the beginning of your end step, sacrifice this. Jesus. Alright, pretty cool. Got some cool cards. So yeah, that was pretty much my time at MagicCon. You know, played some games, did basically everything that I wanted to do. It kind of sucked leaving, you know, because we're going to have to wait like a whole freaking year for this again, you know. But hopefully they bring it back to Chicago. The word was that that is what they're trying to do. They're trying to bring it back to Chicago, you know. So we'll see what happens. I'm really hoping that's the case, because then people can come with me instead of me just going alone. I understand that I'm very lucky, the fact that I can fly for free and all that, you know, because of, you know, where I work and whatnot. But you know, having fun is always funner with other people. I know that might seem obvious. There we go. Rare. Bishop of Wings. It says whenever an angel enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 4 life. Whenever an angel you control dies, create a 1/1 spirit creature token with flying. Pretty good. Flickering Ward in this retro white border. Centers choose a color. Enchanted creature has protection from the chosen color. This effect does not remove Flickering Ward. Pretty good. And you can pay 1 white to return this to your hand. Demonic Consultation. Choose a card name. Exile the top 6 cards from your library, then reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a card with the chosen name. Put that card on into your hand, and then exile all other cards revealed this way. That's interesting. Like if you have a way to manipulate the top of your deck. Pretty good. If you've never been to MagicCon, I highly advise you to go. It's a way to meet new people. It's a way to just kind of see what all the new products are. Plate armor. Pretty good. Cloud Spirit. Pretty good. Omen of the Sea. Oblivion Strike. Ooh, good card. Bastion of Remembrance. It's in a couple of my decks. Blazing Crescendo. Volatile Claws. Patagia Viper. It's okay. Whip Silk. Enchanted player may block as though it had flying. So it gives it reach basically. And then return this to its owner hand. We got a land. Not bad. It's okay. Put it over here. Here we go. Oh my god, guys, I just I pulled one of the better cards in this set. Okay. It's in my hand currently. Thantius, the War Weaver. It's got vigilance, reach, and whenever a creature attacks you or a planeswalker you control, put a 1/1 counter on this. All creatures attack each combat if able. Wow. This is really good. This is a really good card. But this is what I was looking at. Urza Saga in the retro border. Holy crap. This is nuts. My god. This is one of the hits, baby. We're gonna have to put We're going to have to put whatever it costs right there. And then here we are on this retro border. Sangir Vampire. Whenever a creature dealt damage by this turn dies, put a 1/1 counter on it. Whatever, man. It doesn't even matter. We hit 2 of the best cards in this set. They're not hollow. You know, that's unfortunate, but what are you going to do? Yeah, I bought a lot of cool stuff. I got to meet some people, which was very cool. And I got to play some matches. What else can you hope for in a Magic-Con? My only disappointment was, I was very aggressively trying to look for Meat Canyon. I had heard and saw that he was going to be there. I met a lot of the dudes from the Meaty Magic YouTube channel, but I did not get to meet Meat Canyon himself, which was, it's kind of upsetting, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do? All I know is I will be going to Magic-Con next year, regardless of whether it is in Chicago or not. I really hope it is. Alright, here's our first rare. Alright, Hell's Caretaker. You can tap this, sacrifice a creature, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate this only during your upkeep. Okay, that's pretty good. Put that in the rare pile. Here we go. Summoner's Pact. Search your library for a green creature card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. At the beginning of your next upkeep, pay 2 and 2 green. If you don't, you lose the game. My god. That is interesting. A green creature card is really good though. And then Walking Ballista. Good old Walking Ballista. If you know, you know. Here we go. Just gonna play. But yeah, we are very big fans of Vegas. And it is not difficult for us to basically hang out, Bloodspeaker. Effetto Exterminator. Firewing Phoenix. Pretty good. Oh god. Fury Sliver. All slivers have double strike. God, I hate slivers. Wall of Roots. Oh. I pulled a really good card. Ghost Town. Add 1 colorless mana. Tap, add 1 colorless mana. And you could 0, return this. Return Ghost Town to its owner's hand. Use this ability only once per turn. Once during another player's turn. So this is perfect landfall shenanigans. You're always going to have a landfall trigger with this. Jesus Christ, what is up with all these awesome lands I'm getting? Alea, Artful Provocator. Oof, bad. It's got flying, Death Touch, Lifelink. Other creatures you control with flying get +1/+0, and whenever you cast an artifact or enchantment spell, create a 1/1 blue fairy token with flying. Pretty good. Mental Misstep. Counter spell with mana value 1. And here's this treatment. Proteus Staff. You can pay 2 and a blue. Pay put target creature on the bottom of your owner's library. That creature's controller reveals cards from the top. Until they reveal a creature card, that player puts on the battlefield and the rest on the bottom of their library in any order. This is okay. I don't know how I feel about taking a gamble like that, but I suppose if you gotta do it, you gotta do it, right? So we did that. We had a fantastic time. And just before you know it, our vacation was coming to a close. And I was kind of upset about that, She was like, can we stay another day? And I was like, we can't do that. Virus Beetle. Flowstone Hellion. God, this artwork is awesome. Incinerate. Young Wolf. Basara Tower Archer. Pretty good. Here we go. Uncommon. Ooh, and then we get into our first rare. Ancient Excavation. Draw cards equal to the number of cards in your hand. Then discard a card for each card drawn this way. It's pretty crazy. We got our rare. Peer into the Abyss. Target player draws cards equal to half the number of cards in their library and then loses half their life. Round up each time. Jesus. Whoa. Okay, Brain Freeze. Pretty cool. That's not what I was woeing. Target player mills 3 cards, but then has Storm. Pretty good. This is what I was woeing. Look at that. Giver of Ruins. Another target creature you control gains protection from colorless or from the color of your choice until end of turn. Retro border, and it's foil. Jesus Christ, that's awesome. That's going right into that pile. Now I'm back, and I don't know, I got no more vacations planned for the year. I feel like I'm just going to have to buckle on all the stuff that I'm supposed to be doing. You know? Sunblade Angel. Viscerid. God, I can't pronounce that. Deepwalker. MX. Jesus Christ. This is you control enchanted land. That's a different type of thing to piss off your opponent. Rite of Consumption. Pretty good. Pretty good. You are already dead. Mad Ratter, sorry. More goblin shenanigans. Stormcaller. Druid Familiar. Classic. Here we go. Garruk's Pack Leader. Whenever another creature with power 3 or greater enters the battlefield you control, you may draw a card. Pretty good. I might put that in the deck. Golgari Charm. Classic. Leovold, Emissary of Trest. Each opponent can't draw more than 1 card each turn. Whenever you or another permanent you control becomes a target of spell or ability an opponent controls, you may draw a card. Pretty good. And we got Once Upon a Time. If this is the first spell you've cast this game, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature or land from among them, put on your hand, and then the rest in the bottom. Still pretty good. And you got one in this board. Graph Digger's Cage. Creature cards in graveyards and libraries can't enter the battlefield. Jesus Christ, that's good. Players can't cast spells from their graveyards or libraries. Another just ridiculous control card. It's funny. I've been pulling a lot of these control cards, and a long time ago I wanted to make like a really bad control deck that everyone would just basically give up, and I decided against it because I didn't think it would be very fun. But you know, it is what it is. I've been pulling a lot of these cards. Enclave Cryptologist. Ambition's Cost. You draw 3 cards, you lose 3 life. Blood Curdle. Pretty good. Torch Breath. Ren's Resolve. That is good for elves. Wirewood Channeler. Gorga Tree Speaker. Pretty good. Again, elves. There we go. Guideless Commons. This enters tapped. When this enters the battlefield, return a land you control to its owner's hand. You can add 2 colorless. That's pretty good. I'll put that over there. Teferi Mage of Zalfir. Can't pronounce that. It's got flash, and creature cards that you own that aren't on the battlefield have flash. Each opponent can cast spells only as a sorcery, basically. Pretty good. I like that. Definitely going to use that. Oh, here we go. Steve. Sakura Tribe Elder. Sacrifice this, you can search your library for a basic land, put that on the battlefield. Tapped. And then we got Serum Powder. Mana colors, and anytime you can mulligan and Serum Powder is in your hand, you may exile all cards from your hand and then draw that many cards. Interesting. And then we got, Migrant. Ministrant of Obligation. Splendor Mare. Surgical Skull Bomb. Flight of Fancy. Shade's Form. Ooh, Reaping the Graves. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand, and it has Storm. Not bad. Pyromania. At the end of turn, if no creatures are in play, sacrifice Pyromania. This does 1 damage to each creature. Oh, you could pay 1 red. Deals damage to each creature and each player. Not bad. Price of Progress. Deals 2 damage to each player for each non-basic land he or she controls. Jesus, that's pretty good. Predator's Howl. Classic. Blight. Mamba. Vela. Ice Shaper. Classic. I got this card in one of my decks already. Questing Beast. Good card. It's got Vigilance, Death Touch, and Haste. This can't be blocked by creatures of power 2 or less. Combat damage would be dealt by creatures you control can't be prevented. And when this deals combat damage to an opponent, it deals that much to target planeswalker they control. Pretty good. Oh my god, I just pulled a ridiculous card. Prismatic Ending. Exile target non-land permanent. Exile target non-land permanent if its mana value is less than or equal to the number of colors of mana spent to cast the spell. Here we go. Thassa's Oracle. The card that everybody hates, basically. Yep. Oh, look at that. Let's just put that over there. But, yeah, I'm loving this box, man. I'm getting a lot of really good cards for later. So, good stuff. Good stuff. But, now I'm done with vacation. I'm going to be doing some stuff here or there. But, really, I'm just going to be focusing on, doing this, doing content. I have to start writing some new music, man. I feel like things have been so busy. And then, obviously with the summer coming, it's going to be even crazier. But that's life. You just have to be able to manage, Shoreline Ranger. Unearth. Pretty good. Olivia's Bloodsworn. Burning Cloak. Thermo Alchemist. Pretty good. Symbiotic Beast. Never seen that one. Pretty good. Wow. When this is sent to the graveyard, put 4/1/1 insect creatures into play. Armorcraft Judge. Sweet. Skittering Surveyor. When this enters, you may search your library for a basic, reveal it, put it in your hand, shuffle. Pretty standard. Oath of Nisa. Wow. When this enters the battlefield, look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature, land, or planeswalker from among them, put it in your hand, put the rest at the bottom of your library in any order. You may spend mana as if it were any color to cast planeswalker spells. Pretty good. for the first part. I don't really, deal with the Planeswalker part. Okay. Pretty cool. It's Ice Fang Kodal. It's got Flash, Flying, and when this enters, draw a card. It has Death Touch as long as you control 3 permanents. At least 3 other snow permanents. Really cool artwork. Don't know if I'll ever play it, but really cool artwork. Elvish Reclaimer. Gets +2/+2 as long as you control 3 or more lands in your graveyard. You can tap this, sacrifice a land, search a library for a land card, put it on the battlefield tapped. Pretty good. That's actually pretty good. Yeah, we got some stuff coming up in the Shreddy Bois channel here, We're going to be trying to record a new cover. I got to get started on that, man. I have been basically putting it off, but me and Brian, we were going to do a Death Clock cover. Pretty predictable, eh? But, we're going to do it. Ooh, this is a good one. Raptious one. It's an Eldrazi drone. When it deals combat damage to a player, put that many 0/1 colorless Eldrazi spawn creature tokens on the battlefield. Pretty good. I like this. Electrickery. Pretty cool. Summon apes. For your ape tribal. Primal Rage. All creatures you control gain trample. Pretty good. Ooh, Murderous Redcap. When this comes into play, it deals damage equal to its power and to target creature or planeswalker, and then it's got Persist. Persist is always good. Ooh. Grothma, All Devouring. Other creatures you control have, when this creature attacks, you may have a fight. Grothma. When this leaves the battlefield, each player draws cards equal to the amount of damage dealt to Grothma this turn by all sources they controlled. Not bad. Then you got Culling the Weak. There's an additional cost to this spell, sacrifice creature, at 4 black. That's actually not bad. Especially in a deck that wants to do this. You know what? I'm going to move you to this pile. Doomsday. Search your library and graveyard for 5 cards. Exile the rest. Wait, what? Search your library and graveyard for 5 cards and exile the rest. Put the chosen cards on top of your library in any order. You lose half your life rounded up. Jesus Christ. It's basically a now or never type card. You're like, I'm either going to win or I'm going to lose. We got 2 more packs. But, guys, thank you for spending this time with me. I know this isn't exactly your premiere Shreddy Bois video where I'm just, doing this. But I promise you, we're going to have some more stuff. Brian and I will be hopefully recording a new episode of Shreddy Bois. We got to make some time for that, Thirsting Bloodlord, pretty good. Wicked Pact. Younger Dragon. Boarding Party. Silver Glade Elemental. Pretty good. X-Bane Guardian. Right. And here's the last uncommon. Add 1 mana of any color, and then you can pay 1. Untap target legendary creature control. Pretty good. Ooh, okay. Showdown of the Skalds. It's a saga. It says exile top 4 cards of your library. Until the end of turn, you may play those cards. And then chapter 2 and 3 says whenever you cast a spell this turn, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. Not bad. Mystic Sanctuary. When this enters, it enters tapped unless you control 3 or more islands. When this enters, you may put a target instant or sorcery from your graveyard to the top of your library. Pretty good. I'm going to move that over there. Then we have Maddening Hex. You enchant a player. When enchanted player casts a non-creature spell, roll a d6, and this deals damage to that player equal to the result. Then attach Maddening Hex to another one of your opponents at random. This is good. I like that. I know exactly what deck that's going to go into. Last pack. We haven't hit Daddy Urza yet. Maybe this will be it. Alright. Refuse to yield. Sunblade Angel. Frost Trickster. Echo Tracer. Plague Spitter. Oh, this is actually a pretty good card. Heartless Act. Flaring Pain. Goblin Taskmaster. Classic. Fey Offering. Monstrous Growth again. Ooh, this is pretty interesting. Wall of Denial. It's got Defender, Flying, and Shroud. Here we go. First rare. Hanger Backwalker. Pretty good. Pretty good. Very playable. Alright. Dragon's Rage Channeler. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, surveil 1, and as long as there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard, this gets +2/+2 flying and attacks each combat if able to. And then finally, Lightning Greaves. I don't know if that treatment is worth anything. I'll put it, obviously the price will be right there. But, yeah, pretty good, man. I'm excited. I pulled a lot of cards I'm definitely going to be using, But this was also my first ever Mystery 2 box, which is great. I'm very excited about this. And I'll probably buy the next one, when that comes out, Mystery Booster 3. I know there was some controversy about that whole thing, like why are you doing this again? You should have the new one. Alright guys, thank you so much for joining me. This has been really fun. Pay attention for more Shreddy Bois content coming up. And yeah, it's pretty good. I'm excited. I'm excited to be back. I'm going to be working on some stuff. And we'll talk to you soon. Take it easy, guys. Bye.